Paladins 1.6 Dark Tides is just around the corner, and today I'm going to be breaking it down, all of the new skins, all of the changes, the new map, event, and everything going on in this patch as quickly as possible in this video. There's also a new champion coming to the realm called Admiral Dredge, although I have covered them in another video, and they'll be in the cards above right now or at the end of the video if you want to check that video out too and see what that champion's all about. Anyway, let's just jump in straight with the content coming with this patch. So the first big addition to the game is a new Onslaught map called Marauder's Port. I did show this off slightly with the Dredge Champion breakdown video. However, just talking a bit more about it, it is the sort of home base for Dredge and his pirate fleet, who do plunder the realm, and that plunder has ended up here, but also is this sort of port town that is covered in abyssal relics and statues where they worship an abyssal kraken that sits outside the map. Actually, this is probably one of the best decorated maps I've seen for Paladins ever, and generally within games as well. The ship and the kraken in this, and all of the little features, the little statues and everything like that look amazing. Plus the fact that the water actually looks good in this map is a big step up with the Paladins engine. The only slight disappointment is that it is an Onslaught map. I don't necessarily dislike Onslaught, but I don't play it all that often, and we just kind of want a new siege map, although the devs had said that they want a map for each art set in each game mode, so we might even see a new sort of readjusted map for siege that's similar along these themes and with some of the assets. They've also made a little change to Fish Market. They've updated the visual look. The lighting's gone a bit darker, and generally the textures look better, and overall I think the lighting looks better. It's lost a little bit of its heartier theme it had before, but there's like nice little bits they put in as well, like a hanging fish and things like that. And apparently they've fixed some hitboxes on the crates so you can't get shot over the top of them, and little bits like that. Anyway, let's move on to the event and the skins that are surrounding this event. And one of the biggest things coming to this patch, and something I've been asking for a long time, is a player versus environment element. However, the way they're putting this into the game, I think, is rather interesting, and that is mini bosses that randomly spawn when you're playing in casual matches, quick play, so siege, deathmatch, team deathmatch, not rank mode, just the casual matches. There's a chance for a mini boss. It's basically a highly buffed up version of either Ying, Fernando, or Vivian, and also a sort of super boss which is a Victor, and they're all wielding the new skins and also have more overpowered abilities and health pool. For example, Vivian has 2 shields. The idea is you kill each of these mini bosses and then you collect doubloons. There's a few free cosmetics that you can buy with normal doubloons, some of the old horror skins, a new spray, and a new death tombstone type thing. However, you also, if you beat the Victor version of the boss, get golden coins, which can upgrade the purchased skins from this event and this patch. So let's move on to the skins. I'll show off both the event skin that you can unlock by killing the Victor mini boss, and also the normal skins in the game. And all these skins are on the NPCs that you fight as mini bosses. Again, I think this mini boss system is pretty cool. I know that it could be a little bit annoying for people playing casual matches that don't really care about the event, but I think it's an interesting way of putting the PVE element in there. And I guess here, if you want to have serious matches, then you can always go into ranked mode. So the first skin is Daywalker Vivian. So this is sort of a blend between, they said, a vampiress Vivian, but also a vampire hunter, sort of going on the trope of the sort of half vampire, I think, that can walk in the daylight and also usually hunts vampires. Think Vampire D and things like that. And the vampire theme carries on to the weapon, just sort of is kind of more explosive. When you put down your mine, it makes a bat noise. Your shield is a darker red, and your ultimate is almost has an organ sound going on, and they look very vampiric and sort of half evil. The 2 drones following you around, giving you the extra fire, and the explosions are massive, and a darker reddy orange explosion. The alternate rare skin that you can get with the gold doubloon is a completely white version of this, which is rather cool. Although I think I do prefer the original on this one, but that's not the same for everything else. So next up is Death Speaker Ying. This skin really turns Ying on her head. No longer is she this cutesy elf girl. Now she just looks like some sort of death knight or abyssal being that's hit the realm. She's got on her back sort of lots of skulls I don't know what the container on her back usually is. I think it's scrolls, but it's actually 2 big, like, chomping school monsters on her back. She's also got that glowing mask, which looks awesome with those spikes on the top. She's got big teethy pauldrons, and also the weapon is pretty awesome too. It's this skull that's facing you. Apparently the devs said they realized that the mirror is actually facing the wrong way, but they wanted players to actually look at the front of the mouth because it looks so cool. So it's just an aesthetic theme, I suppose. This really changes her up, and compared to the old Abyssal skins, like the Drogo skin, I think they've toned down how chunky they were, and this is more streamlined, and I think these ones are much higher quality. So the alternate to this, with the gold doubloon, takes off the helmet, and also gives a lighter colour to the skin, and changes up the colorations a little bit. I think the face on this one looks very cool, and especially the white hair that comes through with seeing the face. And there's a bit more of a contrast between the colours on your main armour, the purple, and sort of the lighter blue on your body. I'm not sure exactly whether I prefer the original or this version of the Ying, but they're both good. Next up is the Nightmare Fernando. This one is also rather epic. This one is slightly chunkier, but still I'd say less chunky than the Drogos one was. Again, there's basically like just loads of little motifs of almost demonic skeletons all over their armor, on their pauldron and around them. One of the coolest things about this is that the helmet is multi-faced all around the head. It reminds me of, I think, some of the Daedric monsters in Oblivion. It just looks rather cool, especially the weapon as well, sort of these abyssal crystals poking out the blades on the weapon, and the shield as well. The main flame has more of like a midnight blue energy, and has this sort of glow on enemies whilst they're burning as well. That's this midnight blue too, which is awesome. Fireball's the same, and the charge, and just looks relatively cool. However, this particular skin, I think the alternate looks way more awesome. It's a red themed flame Fernando, and looks like some sort of fire elemental, or like a fire demon. I think it's a step up from the original skin. The coloration looks awesome. I could get all in on this one. What's your favourite, folks? Which will let me know in the comment section below. So the way you purchase these skins is they are 500 crystals each, and each of them comes with an MVP pose and an avatar. However, if you buy all 3, you also get for free the Full Moon Victor skin. And this changes Victor into a werewolf. Now, actually, looking at the skin, I kind of wish that default Victor was a werewolf. Perhaps less people would have been angry about the Victor face rework if he was turned into a wolf. But this skin overall is rather epic. It's got a grenade that's sort of a bluey and glowing thing, but overall you can see on the weapon there's like bones and things and a skull on the front of it. It looks a bit more raggedy than the original Victor skin. Plus, he's just a werewolf. There's not much else to say about that, really. Just looks like a pretty grisly werewolf going on. That's the Victor Full Moon. Also, you get a vault key which has a new skin, Iron Madame Inara, or 3 old skins, which are the old Androxus, Demon Maeve, and Archangel Tyra. That you can choose one of 4 to take with that key that you get. Focusing on the Inara skin, wow, this one is epic. It's very heavy metal. It's turned Inara into almost a metal version of a weeping angel from Doctor Who or something like that, but there's lots of other cool motifs. Like the main face is what I was talking about, looks just almost horrific in a very professional way, not just like trying to look scary like a monster. This is actually very creepy. But yeah, so whole metal theme going on. But what's cool on the weapon is loads of little creepy faces that are on your main face sort of swirl around your weapon. And it is this sort of weird red orb as well with these blades. It actually sounds like little knives are firing whenever you shoot it. Also, when you pull up the wall, there's faces on the wall. It looks very scary. You don't really want to pass through that. And plus the warder's field is like this very metallic thing slamming into the ground, which also looks rather epic. The ultimate hasn't changed too much, but also looks pretty good. All in all, this one is a rather epic skin. If you enjoy playing Inara, it's definitely going to be something you want to pick up. Finally, there's a skin in the Halloween chest that they're bringing back, and this is Trick or Treat Talus. Now, they've just gone completely silly with the skin. It has googly eyes in the gun whenever you fire it, and it's changed Talus to look like somewhere between a dragon and an orc. Just sort of this very derpy dragon. I actually thought when they teased this it was going to be really, really bad, the skin. But actually I can get on board with this. It's silly, but also the outline of it's quite clean. And the whole theme of it is pretty good actually. I like the coloration as well. It looks like something that could fit into Banjo-Kazooie or something like that. And overall, yeah, I can get on this. The ultimate has a pumpkin symbol. Again, the weapon has googly eyes. And yeah, it just looks good. And that, again, is in the old Halloween box they're bringing back. The little box of horror. This is the chest, sorry. And I mean, hey ho, it's a chest. But there are quite a few direct purchase skins this time around. Even if they are quite expensive. But then again, you get quite a lot of skins if you buy all 3 for the bundle for the money. And hey, hi-rez, or should I say Evil Mojo Games, has to make money somewhere. Anyway, moving on from the cosmetics, which I think are relatively awesome this time around, to the champion balance. So first up, Androxus Defiant Fist. This talent card increases the damage every time you hit an enemy. Up, used to be 10% every time you got a hit, but it's now 15% up to 100%. So you should be able to charge this easier and faster to get a relatively hard-hitting punch in onto an enemy, so you're sort of one-punch man. So yeah, I guess that's something. I don't know whether I can get behind the Defiant Fist build, but that's going to make it more of a pick, perhaps. Next up is Ash. Kinetic Burst, the ability, has damage increase from 300 to 450. Just a nice little touch. I mean, Ash could probably use some extra pushes to push her back into the meta a bit more elsewhere, but that's a nice little nudge, I guess. Just a little buff. Fioria has had a few nerfs. So Pyre Blade, had basically her main weapon's damage has a greater fall off at range, so she'll be doing less damage further away. And also the Kindle Soul, her heal, has an increased cooldown from 4 seconds to 5 seconds. So quite a heavy nerf to Fioria. She is still a strong healer. I don't know whether she's overpowered. Maybe she's slightly too good in the meta, but we'll just have to see how this adjusts her. It might just give other healers a chance this patch. Koga has had a bit of a rebalance. So Master of Arms, this is the talent card that gave you back ammo if you actually hit somebody with a weapon shot, which worked very well against shields or tank champions and things like that. It can melt them like butter. So it's actually reduced the chance from 100% to 50%, so you can still get a lot of ammo back. Off shields and things, you're going to get half your clip back, but not quite as much. Still, his ammo on Blinking card still makes him very powerful, and although he's not overpowered in PC, he definitely is extremely difficult to deal with on console, with auto-aim favouring hit scan champions and people with automatic weapons, and just the fact that he can move quite quickly on a horizontal plane and get a lot of ammo and also heal makes him extremely formidable. So the thing that's confusing is the Hellkite Claws, which have an increased range of 15%. Now his Claw legendary card and that sort of build didn't really work very well, so it did need little buffs somewhere. Does it really buff him more than his SMG would? And I think Master of Arms was something a lot of people picked up. Probably not, so it's a nerf and a slight buff for Koga. Lex has also had a buff in this patch. The Magnums have now reduced accuracy loss per shot, so you should be able to get better hits off at medium range, sort of going back towards what Lex used to be, a bit more accurate and a slower, more careful champion, perhaps less charging into people's faces and spamming your Magnums, hopefully. Maldamba's Gourd also got a buff, so the heal per second has gone from 280 to 300. Not a massive increase, but it's a little nudge for the Maldamba, just perhaps touching him slightly more in a favourable light, and one of the better picks for healers, who already was in the top healing spots, one of the top healing spots. Tellus has also had some buffs. So the main weapon has reduced the damage drop off at range, so you're doing more damage further away. And at the same time, Antalis Ultimate True Power has also been buffed, although it sounds like not a buff, but they've reduced the ultimate knockback by 44%. But you're a flank champion that has heavy burst up close, so you don't really want to push enemies away from you, and you're probably going to be picking an enemy that's squishy or can't deal with you up close anyway, so having them land closer to you is a better thing, and you can also blitz up at them afterwards now because they'll be in range. I think there's a mixed bag of balancing here. Some are a bit confusing. It's a shame that Koga hasn't had more touches for the console audience, but as always we'll just have to see how everything plays out in the realm. What does everybody else think about the skins? What does everybody else think about the new map? And what does everybody else think about the balance? Be sure to let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe for more of my content, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching, folks. Joshino.